I wanted to take a moment today to talk about some things. I get on the relationship hype and men, women, dating, all that stuff. But this single thing, it is a big, big challenge. And some of you I know what I mean because you've been out here waddling in the single world too. And for those of you who have not been, be thankful that you haven't been because times have definitely changed. We have a new generation, we have a new mindset, a new thought process, a new way that everyone kind of thinks and feels, and limitations and things of that nature. I talked in a previous video regarding how the women are so bold, that they're so open, they're so ready to let a man know what they want, approach a man, and things of that nature. It didn't used to be like that, but you have the reservation of a lot of single people that is not willing or wanting to put forth that effort to vibe with someone, to put in the trust of possibly, getting their emotions all stirred up in the pot with someone. And they're protected, especially when you get seasoned, you get older, you've been through life. Life changes, life be life, and it's my favorite line, where you have had more than one relationship. You have had more than one marriage. You have had um, people use and abuse you, take advantage of you, and things of that nature. And so you are protecting your emotions. You are not wanting to open up and give yourself, but you're out here trying to meet people and approach, for the men to approach the women, and nowadays women approach the men, but you're trying to connect. And the only way you're going to connect is to go outside. Some people don't want to go outside, they don't want to do things, they don't want to get into the social vibe, but you're not going to meet people like that. So hey Freddie. So if you want to get out there and meet, do that. But all this reservations and in the struggle of being single, okay? Um, I've had a few that came to me saying, "Well, I'm just gonna go on and be in a relationship with that person because I have been dealing with them and I have given my all to them, my emotions, my sensitive side, and all that. And we cool, we vibe, but we're not in a relationship. But I might as well just go on and stick with this and see where this go instead of going out here and get with something new." A lot of times, as I've said before, we sit up and we block our blessings. There is someone out here for everyone. So if you're sitting there and you're waiting on that right situation by hanging on to the wrong situation, because you're single, they're single, but you're blocking yourself from mingling, you're losing out. You're losing out. So, what are some of the struggles out here of being single? Well, for one, there is this thing that I've run across with, and it doesn't matter if it's younger men or older men, and I'm not trying to bash the men, I'm just trying to throw out an example. You know, uh, Especially if it's a man of status, if it's a man that is good looking, if it's a man that is always having women run and chase. Women outnumber the men, right? So you got all these different women that's running and chase because they're trying to latch on to whatever single men that's out here, the ones that's left, the ones that's worth snatching up, right? They're trying to snatch them. So these men are having all this run at them. So they're not having to or want to throw out the net and chase and try to, you know, put their all into connecting with women of interest because they know women are going to come at them, right? That is a big change. Usually back in the day, if a man is interested, he's interested. He's going to come at you. He's going to, spend that time and energy to approach you. He's going to make you a priority. Period. That's just how it is if a man is truly interested in you, ladies. Okay. So that has been a big change. And also, there is this thing of open relationships. People are wanting to be involved in this relationship, say, you know, way, act like they're in a relationship, but then they sitting up there, hi, Doug, but then they sitting up here wanting to be single too, right? So they have their options wide open. And so you are single, no title involved in your situation, and you are having yourself be wide open to the possibilities of you catching some stuff like STIs, STDs, or whatever they call them nowadays. You're opening yourself wide open. Not to say you can't get that kind of stuff being in a relationship, because some people do cheat. But we ain't talking about that. That's another video, another day. We're talking about those who are single and they know that who they are getting with is mixing and mingling. They may not dangle the meat and the mingling in their face, but they are. You know, let's just keep it 100. If a person can go a significant amount of time before they see you, right? Hey, Duck. If you listen, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being single, and I'm talking about how it is such a challenge out here for men and women that are single to mix and blend with somebody that's on the same page that's into them. Everyone wants to hold back their emotions. People want to play but not really pay, not be in the fray. And I'm not talking about literally give money. I'm talking about just pay the price of being committed to somebody, but they want to play. So these are the things that I'm touching on, because being single out here is Hell, Hell. And, I don't want people to sit up and say, um, let me just jump in a relationship because I just scared. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of being alone. All my friends have a woman and people are getting married and they're having families and I have no one. So let me just be Jack ASS, right? Don't do that. Don't do that either. You know, don't settle. You are worth having something of worth, okay? Period. But it is a struggle out here because you don't really know what you're getting. Don't really know what you're doing. People are fake and phony, some of them. Heck, not to be bashing, but some of these men got to be careful because there's some gorgeous looking folks out here that's really not women that look good, and you don't really know what's going on anymore. So you got to be careful about things like that. But it is scary. It's scary, you guys. And so some people stay in relationships long. They should have been gone because they scared to get out here and be single again. And then you got those that be single and they scared to get out here and mingle because they don't even know what the rule book is no more. You know, I had one person tell me that they met someone. They were both single. They met someone, and this person was digging them and vibing them, but they let it be known straight up that they wanted to sleep with other people too. I wanna, I want to sleep with just you just sleep with me, but I want to be open to sleep with other people. And if you do, that's fine, but let me know that you're doing it. Okay, so open relationship, is it? What is that? If you both agree to it, I guess you just are single with benefits, right? You just get with each other, and there's no, you know, there's no connection, no relationship thing. But when you become at a season stage in your life, you are looking for longevity. You're looking for commitment. You're looking for someone that you can build with, that you can go the rest of your years with, that you can enjoy, traveling and doing things with. You're looking for that right connection. So who wants to be out here mixing and mingling and playing and taking the risk of getting HIV or a whole bunch of other stuff you can't get rid of, or that you got to go and get shots and pills and all that for and all that? Who can you imagine just to get off track, but can you imagine at your season stage of life and you've been messing with somebody, say you 56 years old, you've been messing with somebody and you kind of think they've been messing around a little bit. They say they haven't, but you kind of think you got a little tingle going on or a little burning when you pee, whatever the situation, right? And you got to go to your doctor and you got to spread them or you got to let them stick up in there. I'm being a little bit, I'm not trying to be all that. I'm just being real. But that doctor got to stick the needle up in the man or he got to have the woman spread and put the thing on. You got to do all that at 56 years old. And then you got to say, I want a whole panel STD check because I got a new partner and I don't really know what's going on. Then the doctor asks you, well, have you been using condoms? Well, I was using condoms at first with this person, but then we stopped using condoms because we became regular, and I trust them and this and that. But all of a sudden, I got this little tingle going on. First off, you better be careful. You got to be careful because people don't always tell the truth about what's going on, and it's embarrassing, especially at a seasoned age, to be up in the doctor trying to say I got to get checked, and then end up coming back with you got three things going on. Go get your medication and be lucky that you could take medication because you could have had something else you couldn't get rid of. That's embarrassing. So, you got to be careful. And I'm not saying some people are so insecure and guarded that it's hard for them to date anybody out here now being single because they accusing folks before they even folks like I ain't even doing nothing. They accusing me of doing something because the last person did something and cheated on them. Or they was out here single and they got played. Person told them they wasn't married and they was. Person told them that they were the only one and they ain't. So they go into the next thing. They haven't unleashed the baggage of worry and they take it into the next thing and the other person can't even go to the store without being accused of something. First off, you need to sit down for a while and breathe, get yourself right, go see somebody, do whatever you got to do to get right so that you could be ready for that person that's presented to you and not bring the baggage of your last relationship into this relationship, making them feel like this. Okay, anybody got time for that? If you got to be tripping on me like that, you need to go take that somewhere else. Because I'm me, I ain't the last person you was with. Get over what you're dealing with first, and then we can talk about it. But being single is hell, y'all. I don't know. How many of you out there that's really enjoying your single life? Maybe you are. Maybe you at a stage where, you ain't got to answer to nobody. You can get out there and do your thing, and, it's all good. Ain't nobody questioning you. If you don't want to come home, you don't want to have to come home. If you just don't want to do nothing, you don't have to, right? Some of you are really, really enjoying that. And you may enjoy it for a little while, but trust and believe, sooner or later, you're going to want to be with somebody. You're going to want something of your own. And you ain't going to want it spread across the seas. You ain't going to want to have to worry about, they ain't answered the phone in 4 days. I wonder where they at. And you calling the jail and the hospitals and stuff because you think something didn't happen to them, and all along they up there not answering the phone because they kicking it with somebody else. You know? But it's a beast out here, okay? So my suggestion to you, single folks, is to take it slow, be easy, don't just jump into nothing. If you're looking for something of quality and not quantity, then keep your focus on the prize. Keep your focus on that. Don't just jump into something because it's the status and everybody else is doing it and let me do it too. And I want to be in a relationship because my best friend got her a man and he treating her good. And you know these that do this. Well, do they have a friend? Do they have a friend? Do they have a brother? Do they have a sister? Do they have a friend? Look, y'all, just because this person is good don't mean the other person, they friend may be the total opposite. And sometimes that ain't even the cool thing to do because then you got people kind of in your business a little bit. Because if you and that person got situations or whatever, good or bad, they talking to their friend about it and blah, 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 and you got mess, right? So sometimes it's best that you just go on and get your own fish. Hook your own line and throw it out in the lake and get your own fish. That's just my wisdom word of advice. That do you have a friend thing? I don't know about that. I don't know if that works. But we'll talk about that on another video. So anyway, I just wanted to stop in. It's a wonderful Saturday. I wanted to put some things on the mind. I want you to check out my next video. I'm always trying to put something on your mind, make you think, make you blink, make you wonder, make you realize some stuff, because we are at a very crucial stage right now in our lives, being grown and mature, where shit gets real. Okay? It gets real. Y'all ain't in your 20s. I may have a couple of followers that's that young, but usually my audience is mature folks. You ain't in your 20s no more. And you're not sitting up here thinking, or you shouldn't be thinking, you can just keep repeating this rodeo all over and over and over and over again. If this don't work out, go to the next. If this don't go, you know what I'm saying? Because time be ticking. And you don't want to get invested seriously into something that you had red flags in the beginning, but you just wanted to go there because you was tired of being alone, and now you in divorce court, or you in divorce a relationship court. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't want to go through all that. Too much stress. We too grown for that. Find somebody that's right. Better yet, let them find you too. It's just, and I don't know. One part of me, I'm a single woman. For those of you that didn't know, but I have been in serious relationships and I have been married before, so I do understand both sides of the coin and how things go on both sides. Now, being single at first, when I first came out of that whirlwind, was a wonderful thing. It was a wonderful thing. I was enjoying the me, the not having to stress about worrying about no bull crap, not having to argue with nobody about dumb stuff, not, just wonderful. And then as time goes on, it gets old. It's like, okay, I'm kind of sick of this. I like, you know, having my own little space to do whatever. But if you have the right fit in the right relationship, you both can have your space and be with each other and love each other and be for down and for each other too. You ain't got to lock nobody down where they can't live their life a part of yours as well. But I understand both fences. But this thing out here now, and the men just wanting the woman to just be chasing, they don't even call you no more like they used to. I remember phone calls used to be just, man, every time you turn around, your phone is ringing, or you getting a little message, or something like that, or have a nice day, or how you doing. You don't even, folks want to text you more than they want to call you. And then when they call you, they ain't really got too much conversation or long talk or nothing to talk about anyway. It's just basic stuff. And the whole conversation be, when you get off the phone, you be like, they didn't even ask me how I was doing. I just cut my finger off. They didn't even ask how I was doing. That kind of thing. So we have to be mindful of that. And it's just so different now. It's so different. Now, I don't know. I can't speak for the men. I'm speaking for the women. I'm a woman. I'm speaking for how my singleness has been. Even though there's been some very wonderful, approachable, going at it type of men, a lot of times, especially mature, they have baggage. A lot of times they are connected to something and they just want something else. It's a lot of stuff going on out here, and people wait sometimes until you get emotionally caught up in them, where you really gigging and feeling them before they tell you, I forgot you. Well, there is a very important part. I didn't mention it at first because I thought if I told you that then you wouldn't like me no more, and I really like you, and I didn't want that, but I still have a wife legally. But we stay in the same house. But we sleep in separate rooms, and but we still legally married. And so why haven't you left? Well, I'm planning on leaving, but I'm waiting on them to get. They're supposed to be getting some settlement that's coming through, so I'm waiting on them to get the settlement, and I'll get a part of that, and then I'm gonna be gone. And then we talking about splitting the business we have together, and also possibly selling the house, or they can buy me out. You sit up there with a whole mountain of connections they have with this person, and why they ain't gone, baby? They ain't leaving. They ain't going nowhere. They are not going nowhere, baby. And if they do, I don't think you'll get nothing. You ain't. Boy, bye. Go handle that. Go handle that. So I'm telling you, it's crazy out here being single, y'all. So if you have something that's righteous, that's right, that's loyal, that's committed, that is cool, even if you have somebody that you have invested some years and time with and you really care about, make it official. Connect with that. First off, it shouldn't take forever for you to know that this is the person you want, right? And if you've been dangling them and you don't know for sure if you want them, maybe you need to just set them free because somebody want them. You can rest and sure and believe that, especially if they're a good one. Okay. But anyway, that's it for today, y'all. Hi, meeting please. How are you? And I just want to thank you guys again for joining in. I want to thank you for your comments. I want to thank you for sharing, and subscribing. I do what I do on a regular basis. Look for me. Look for the next video. I'm always talking about something that's going to make you say, okay? Share this with somebody. And you guys be safe out there. Have a wonderful day. I'll be back at you soon. Okay. Peace.